often asked how I came up with the idea of a fairy garden mystery. I went to a Renaissance fair a number of years ago, and I fell in love with the craft. There was all sorts of crafts at a Renaissance fair. They make candles and they make beads and they make costumes, lots of good food. But I saw this woman who had made fairy gardens, and I fell in love. There were these darling little figurines with little lamps and little fences and little mailboxes, and I just went, oh my gosh, I've got to do this myself. So I went home and I researched it, and I found out that there was I found a book about it, and the woman that had written the book actually owned a garden store down in Tustin, California, near me. So I drove down there and I walked into her store and I fell in love with her store. It was walls of figurines and fairy houses and little fairy, embellishments like slides and swings and gates, and oh my gosh. And then I went into the back of the nursery. It was a nursery, and she had all these miniature garden pieces in it, garden plants and beautiful pots to buy. And there was a woman, it wasn't the woman who'd written the book, but her assistant was taking me through it, teaching me how to do everything. And she had gardens that were made in wheelbarrows and old sinks. And it was so wonderful. So I bought my set, not a set, but all my little things. And I went home and I made my first fairy garden. And as I was making it, I thought, wouldn't this be a great idea for a garden type mystery? I'm known for my culinary mysteries, but to do gardening would be a great fun thing to do. And then I thought, what if I actually put in a fairy? So I researched that, and there were no mysteries, no paranormal mysteries with fairies. They had ghosts and goblins and gargoyles, but no fairies. And this was way out of my wheelhouse and way out of my comfort zone. But as I started to write, I just fell in love with everything, not with my writing, but everything about the idea of a fairy and how that could open up the world of imagination. And so then Courtney Kelly, who was my protagonist, came alive, and she started her store, Open Your Imagination, in Carmel, California. So I hope you'll go along on the journey with me and Courtney and Fiona the fairy as we try to figure out how to solve problems for humans.